Welcome guys to the channel. So today on this video we'll be doing the co-ratios. We still continue with our trigonometric functions, trigonometric basics. In fact, we just do the basics for the trigonometry. So we still continue with that. Now today on this video we'll be doing the trigonometric co-ratios. Now on the previous videos we did your reciprocals, we did your 180 rule and all that. So in order for you to use the co-ratio rule, you need to understand what are co-ratios, at least have an idea what co-ratios are. Now we all know that on a trigonometric syllabus, in fact on a trigonometric chapter, we know that we have three trigonometric functions. So I will mention some of them. In fact, we have sine, we have cos, we have tan. We also have sec, cosec, and cot. So those trigonometric functions, some are actually co-ratios of other trigonometric functions. Now, we have sine, right? And you also have a cotangent, which is known as tan, cotangent. We also have secant, which is known as sec. So these are the trigonometric functions that has their co-ratios. So what are those co-ratios we are talking about? For sine, we have cosine. So cosine is a co-ratio of sine. And then for tangent, which is tan in this case, the trigonometric, the co-ratio function is actually cotangent. If you can see the pattern here, guys, it's actually you put co in front of the actual trigonometric function. For secant, we have cosecant. As you can see, now each trigonometric function has its own trigonometric co-ratio. So if each trigonometric function has its co-ratio, as you can see, there are also 6. So look at this. For sine, the co-ratio is what? Is actually cos. For tan, the co-ratio is what? Cot. And then for sec, the co-ratio is what? Cosec. So guys, as you can see, do not mix these two, or do not confuse the co-ratios with the inverses or the reciprocals. These are not the same. The reciprocals are the inverses of the trigonometric functions, whereby the co-ratios, they are different now. So in order for you to understand, or in order for you to remember, or not to confuse, just put the word CO, or just put CO in front of each trigonometric function. As you can see, we have sine. So sine, the co-ratio of sine is cos. And then we have tan. The co-ratio of tan is cot. And then we have secant or sec. The co-ratio of sec is cosec. So there is co in front of each and every trigonometric functions that don't start with CO. Now, how do we actually use this? Now let me just draw a triangle. In this case, I am going to draw a right angle triangle. Let me just draw it in a place whereby we'll have enough space. Let's just draw it here. Alright, so we are drawing it here. So this is our right angle triangle. Now we all know that a triangle, it has a total of 180 degrees inside of it. Now we know that this side here already it's 90. So the remaining two sides, they will share 90 degrees. So let's make an example and let's put 30 for this one, 30 degrees, and let's put 60 for this one. If you add all the triangles, if you add all the angles inside the triangle, they will give you 180. Now, let's make an example and say this side here, let's give it the value of 4 meters, and then the hypotenuse, let's just give it the value of r, which is unknown, and then the other side, let's call it y. Okay, now if you use the co-ratio, let's look at our co-ratios there. How are we gonna use them? For example, if you say sine 30, the co-ratio of sine 30 is cos, but cos what? 60. So if you insert on your calculator sine 30 and cos 60, you will get the same thing. Now let's do that. What is sine 30 and cos 30? I'm gonna insert cos 60. Cos 60 give us 1/2, which in this case is half. Now this kind of shows that the co-ratios, this kind of shows how the co-ratio works. So this is how you use the co-ratios. They are working hand in hand, by the way. They are working hand in hand. Now, even if you can use tan 30, what is the co-ratio of tan 30? It's going to be cot, just erase this. It's going to be cot 60. Now, if you still remember, we don't have cot on a calculator, so how are you going to write this one? You're going to write this one over tan 60, but it's still going to give you the same thing. So what is tan 30? Tan 30 is going to give you, hopefully it's not much of a big number, it's going to give you 0.577. Yes. So these are the co-ratios. This is how they actually work together. So now, how are we going to solve this? How are we going to use the co-ratios to solve the problem? Now that's where most people get confused, because sometimes people will be like, I want to use sine, I understand sine better, and someone will be like, no, I prefer to use cos, I understand cos better. It's fine as long as you are using the co-ratios in the correct way. For example, let's say you use sine 30 to find r. So we know that sine 30 is opposite over hypotenuse. We know that sine is actually opposite over hypotenuse. In this case, what is our opposite? Our opposite is 4. And then over hypotenuse, what is our hypotenuse in this case? Is r. So if you want r, we have to cross multiply. If you cross multiply, we know that it's going to be 4 over sine 30. And our answer is going to be 8 meters. This is how you do it. So if you use the co-ratio of sine 30 in this case, which is going to be what? Which is going to be sine 60. If you use it, what is your answer? We must able to get exactly 8. So let's do it. So let's do it on this empty space. So if you say cos 60, remember cos 60 is the co-ratio of sine 30. So what is cos? Remember, cos is adjacent, which is this side, adjacent of the angle divided by hypotenuse. So do not forget that. If you don't remember this, you can go back to the first video whereby I introduce all this. I did discuss this on the previous videos. I think it's video number 2 or the first video, one of those 2 videos. If you don't understand what is cos, what is sine, and what is tan. So in this case, what is our adjacent in this case? What is adjacent to 60 is gonna be 4. And then what is hypotenuse? Our hypotenuse is r. So if you do your cross multiplication, we know that's going to be 4 divided by cos 60, and your answer is going to be 8 meters. Guys, so this is how you do your co-ratios. This is how you actually use your co-ratios. This is how the co-ratios work. They actually work hand in hand. But the angles then should be at least like these ones. They must give you when you combine those angles, in this case, when you combine these angles, they must give you 90. So what do I mean by that? If you can see 30 plus 60, they must give you 90 in this case. So that's where you're gonna able to use the co-ratios. Guys, we're gonna do the 180 rule and the co-ratio rule all together. I know that we have done the 180 rule before. Now we're gonna combine the two, the 180 rule and the co-ratio rule all together. Now that you know the co-ratios of this trigonometric function and when they came about. So we're gonna do that on the next coming video. If you have any questions, you can ask on the comment section. Even if you have anything to add on this video, you can also add on the comment section. Do not forget to like, subscribe, and also comment. Even if you like the video, just comment, is also fine too. If you feel like this information was very useful, do not forget to also share it to one of your fellow students if they're struggling with this trigonometric function or trigonometric co-ratios and 180 rule and everything. So guys, see you on the next video whereby we will be using the co-ratio rule and the 180 rule all together.